Okay. I believe that I am ready. Okay. Alright. Pork, you're always first, man. Is there any bit of a surprise? Hockey news is the Oilers beat the Leafs 3-1. You can always get your live hockey news. But we are into the Singapore Grand Prix set to daytime, which is a little bit of a wrench thrown into the supposed to be. Yeah, we got a full grid, 21 drivers here. Was supposed to be set to nighttime. Okay, right into the qualifying though. Pork, who do you want to follow? Who do you want me to get on board of? We are right into it. The qualifying. I'm not sure. I'm gonna wait on Pork to see if we're gonna change anything, but right now we're gonna sit on Chunky Corgi, see what he can do. Down into 19th place, not doing very good. We got 21 drivers today, nice and full grid. Spin and win. Up at the top. Spin and win? Okay. We'll see what the new guys got. Everyone else in the league has been seen before, has raced before. Other than Spin and Win, this is his first representation of the Midwest F1 League, so let's see what he can bring to the table. We have a very good track record we're a pretty decent track record of first time in the Midwest F1 League, they just torch us. For whatever reason. I don't think, we've got a lot of good drivers, but it's just like, whenever we find someone, they just come in and they just torch the league. They just, I mean, it is what it is. There you go, Spin and Win losing his racing line ever so slightly and just going to drop down into 5th. Hello, Bennett Boss. How are you doing today? I'm doing very good, thanks, man. Spin and Win and HSVDT kind of flip-flopping ever so slightly there. I'll throw on the full track map as well so we can see where we are. We're just finishing up Sector 2. Now we're on into Sector 3, into the first turn. I'll pull up a track map of Singapore as well. Singapore Grand Prix track map. Good stuff, okay. Now that I got my bearings all set, I was getting a little bit distracted early on from trying to watch the Oilers game and get this lobby all set up. And now we're right into it. I need to change the title, but it looks like Jacko's going to come over the line first. HSVDT just getting a pass on Spin and Win in the final corner. Spin and Win is going to come over the line 3rd, Hotspot 4th, Kenny 5th, Jimbo Fishing 6th, Winnie Matt 7th, Garris back 8th, Kaz 9th, and JC Blackley rounding out the top 10. Still one needs to finish, and that being ZGS. But we got 3 disqualifications in random series, Kamina and Janet to win it. Tim will be outing his counterpart and his teammate in 78 Corvette, tier the tier, losing out to AE Daltonian. And there you go. ZGS retires from the session, but we are in the F2 Series race week 4 at Singapore. So now I am completely caught up now. We got the yeah, Hasek no show there, Mr. Porkchop, so it is what it is. But quickly, I'll kind of run through. I already went through the top 10 there, so we'll kind of continue onward and downward in Spaceman, A.E. Daltonian, Menace, Chunky Corgi, Tier the Tier, Tim Lee, 78 Corvette are the last drivers to qualify with a finish time. Corgi needs a new invite, you say, hey? Okay. I can't do it right here. Can I do it like this? We'll see, but I don't like to try and send him a new invite because then it makes my screen go black. Trying to catch up with everything that got on the move here, and Chunky Corgi not in here? No, he's not. Can I send him an invite? Sorry guys, need to... Okay, I think I sent it, but there we go, we are underway as I just get back. Jacko has the lead, HSVDT's fighting with Hotspot and Spin and Win there. Oh, and speaking of Spin and Win, he actually spins out and is going to go down the order quite a bit, so not the way he wanted to start off. Just a yellow flag through Sector 1. We're still going to continue on our way here with Hotspot now in second, Garris back in third, Money Man fourth, Jimbo Fishing fifth. JC Blackley gets overtaken by his teammate, and Kenny will kind of jump onto the battle, as usually when those two are involved in a scrap, it's pretty interesting. JC's got the inside line, but Kenny breaks later and keeps and holds a position. Kaz losing out, as does Jimbo Fishing, and actually him and Money Matt are still battling. We'll get on board with Money Matt. Oh, and I think I just caught Kenny kind of slipping out there, so his teammate's going to get a pass on him. Spin and Win still trying to battle here. He doesn't get very good traction. He's going to get loss of position. He's actually got the super soft, so that's not what you want to see, him losing all these positions off the get-go. And Kaz completely shoots the turn, misses his braking zone, and him and Spin and Win are battling a little bit here, but Spin and Win's going to hold on. Now you got to watch out for that bridge section as that does open up. Oh, and that was just a complete guess, but I jumped on ZGS as he spins over. That corner on the right side there, right before you kind of get into this tight left-hand hairpin, is real tough. You think it's just a VSC. No, it's a complete virtual safety car. Safety cars in the chat, please, if you ever so could, shoot me a safety car. Let me show that you're paying attention and you're with us here. An early safety car, I think an unwarranted one, as we still have all the drivers in here. There's no one out of the Grand Prix. Oh, and there you go. Was that Kenny? I think that was. Kenny was spun out there. And he was trying to correct himself. It looks like he hit Super Ninas there in Sector 3. Jacko's actually pitting right off the get-go here, so this lap is this race is a 25% race. So a lot of drivers are pitting. We'll have to check position change after it all settles down here, but right now Hotspot is going to jump up 3 positions after the restart into first place, and he's going to be with his, I believe that's his teammate Jimbo Fishing there in third, as a lot of these cars' colors are very, very similar. Garris Fax moves up 6th from 8th into 2nd. And the only real one losing positions other than those who are pitting right now was Spin and Win, as he got spun out early on after turn 1, so unlucky from him in his first race in the MidWest F1 League, but looked like he had some real pace, so there's still plenty of race for him to show it, and also a second race for him to show it as well. But he's going to have to collect himself in 5th place and try and put out a couple solid laps here, with him, of course, being on the Super Softs. Actually, quite a few drivers on the Super Softs. What in the world did we just witness there? It looks like ZGS completely lost his bearings around turn 3. just after the exit of the pit lane there, as the pit lane exit kind of comes back on track, like in the inside line of turn 2. Very unfortunate for turn 3 if you're trying to re-enter onto the track. Tough space to time, but only a couple penalties handed out right now. All 5 seconds. Well, all 3 are just 1 5-second penalties, which are being handed out to AE Daltonian as well as to Kenny and Tier. The Tier down to 20 and 21st place. So both drivers, or the teammates of AE Daltonian and Tier, the Tier having penalties. Location. Crash, you're right around like personal friends. Yeah, that I'd be. What can I do you for, pork chops? Need me to go kick some ass? Just, like, I will gladly. Ooh, and AE Daltonian picks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings of some sort, so he's actually up the ante and said, hey, I want to be leading the day on penalties, so I'm going to take that. Waiting for all these cars to catch back up to the pack here. But, pork chops, you didn't hear me, yes I am in a similar area to them. You can just message me on Discord if you have anything, or just type it into Twitch chat there, it doesn't bother me. Your merch order should be shipped soon. I put 2 stickers on there for each of them. That's up there. Ah! Friggin' rights there, pork chops. Actually, you can, Bennett Boss on Twitch is actually OG Northerner, so you can call his ass out for not actually ordering anything. He didn't want to get on the order, so be sure to publicly shame him. My girlfriend actually wanted more stuff than he did. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Like, don't lay off. How did we do on the orders? Did a lot of, I'm assuming, like, a lot of drivers ordered them. Or, I mean, not a lot, but I'm assuming we had, like, some drivers order as well. Oh, not too shabby. I know I put out a pretty decent one. I was ordering for 3 people. Could have been 4 if Bennett Boss really cared about the league, but that's fine. If OG Northerner doesn't give a crap, then, it's, you know, whatever. Just goes to show his true colors on where his heart lies. What happened to Kenny there? Kenny pit again. I'm not sure. I got distracted. I guess while we have a moment here, I can plug our partner. I guess I bought a beanie, hat, and hoodie. Yeah, I bought a. I think I got a toque, a hat, and a shirt. And a sports shirt. Kind of went stupid. But like, yeah, I didn't want to wait until the next one because I didn't know if there was going to be a next one. So I wanted to make sure that I got my stuff. And then, oh, Tim Lee's in the pits actually. He must have taken some sort of damage. Chunky Corgi and Random Sirius are kind of teetering here. Weirdly enough. Hat switch. Oh no, monkey touched my clothes. You needed to put a disclaimer, you know, on that. Oh Christ. Oh no. Oh, I got just completely distracted. But you can see up in second place there, we got the Garrus Vac. He, of course, or not of course, but if you don't know, then he runs the Hyper Series Rainbow Six League. If you're anybody interested in Rainbow Six or any bit of competitive competitive first-person shooters, then go check out that league. It's very solidly run. It's got a very a different system from what the normal Rainbow Six pro circuit does, but still keeps it very entertaining and fun. And he bangs out 3 matches every Saturday night, starting around 5 p.m. Pacific. That'd be 8 p.m. Eastern. So go give that a check out if you're really into Rainbow Six, or like I said, first-person shooter comps. Is Rainbow Six is a very different type of game from just a normal Call of Duty, so it's cool to learn. There's a lot to it, so go check that out. And if you do check that out, be sure to cheer for the MidWest Reapers, as MidWest just won their first game on Saturday, led by the stellar performance of a young god, collecting 23 kills through 11 rounds of play, so over 2 kills a round. The guy was just going off, and that's also going with, he had 4 kills in the final round and got actually killjacked on the 5th for the entire ace. So he completely went off, and he got us our first W. So we're on the turnaround. We're looking good for the rest of the year to come here. So be sure to go check them out. They're a solid league, well ran, well organized, and still fairly new, so a lot of improvement. And be sure to be with them from the beginning. We are about to go back live. We are on board with the Garrus Vac as Hotspot throws a little bit of a brake check into the final turn. Nothing too much. He's trying to mistime the Garrus Vac, but he was running out of room there, and the Garrus Vac was able to predict him very well, and Jimbo Fishing actually got a good run as well, and Kenny looks to have retired entirely. This was just not his race. Spin and Win and Money Matt are going at it there. And Kaz actually tried to go in on Money Matt as well. And we also have Menace retiring from the session as well. I wonder, he seems to be off. We'll get on with Jinnit to win it quick, and as I'm on with Jinnit to win it, he's spinning around. ZGS gets overtaken by... ZGS overtakes 78 Corvette, and we'll get on with 78 Corvette as he's running tight on the back. That pink BWT, who unfortunately misses his braking point. Now Spaceman's going to get an overtake done as 78 Corvette gets back on track. A little bit of oversteer from Super Ines as he's trying to hunt down Random Serious. Gets a pretty good run, gets a very good launch actually. He's going to have a dive. And he's got the inside line, forces Random Serious out wide. Random Serious gives way. There we go, okay. Lost my track map for a second there, but we are back. HSVDT looks to be working on Chunky Corgi. Looks like he was about to pull alongside him, and he completely outbreaks him, but Chunky's got the inside line, not giving way, and Chunky loses out position, is now down in 11th place here, and he looks to be in jeopardy of Super Nines as well. Super Nines trying to catch Chunky Corgi, as that's actually the bot of Chunky Corgi, so Super Nines should get an overtake on there. Random Serious and ZGS getting at it, Spin and Win decides to kiss a little bit of that wall, and of course not being the wall of champions, that he'd probably most likely out of this race if it was, but he's got to count his days if he's going to keep hitting walls like that. He's able to keep it fairly clean. Random Serious loses some major positions. She's going into the pit. Daltonian comes out, I think, of the pit. Oh, and gets a good piece of HSVDT and gets shoved into the wall there. As AE Daltonian drops down the order now into 10th place. JC looking to come at Money Matt here. But just can't keep it. Or just doesn't have a close enough line there. Money Matt's still going to hold on to 6th, but he's going to be under pressure from JC. JC's tires are going to start having the longer, or have the longer life. Should be able to take a real run at Money Matt in the next couple of laps here, if not this lap. Money Matt's also trying to make ground on Kaz. Jimbo Fishing is getting real tight on the back of the Garrus Vac. No DRS yet. It's going to open up after the end of this lap. Hotspot still holds onto the lead, followed closely by the Garrus Vac and Jimbo Fishing, all within a minute, or a minute. Of course they're within a minute, but they're all within a second of each other. So DRS train will kind of commence. Spin and Win is just outside of that. Jimbo Fishing takes a slightly different line. Looks actually have been the cleaner line. And he's right on the back of Garrett's back and nearly had actually a go into turn 18 there, but the straightaway wasn't long enough, and Garrett's back is able to hold on to position. The Garrett's back's really got to move. He's going to want DRS. Actually, he won't be able to get it this lap, or for this upcoming pieces. Hotspot and the Garrett's back opt into the pit. Keeps Jimbo Fishing out, as Jimbo's got a set of softs, the harder compound tire between the two, the super softs and the soft, so he's going to be able to stay out there a little bit longer. Money Matt is on the super softs, so I imagine he's going to come in at the end of this lap, as you see a lot of the drivers on the super softs into the pit lane now, going on to the softs for the rest of this lap. So it looks like 6 and 11 is the magic number. AlphaTauri team, Garris and Jimbo. Money Matt's got DRS, opting not to use DRS. Well, Jacko's got DRS, and he's going to try and work on JC. JC's going to be in tough there. Jacko's a tough customer to hold behind, so, and it makes it real hard when you do mistakes like that, but JC does a lovely job of getting that position back. But Jacko's got the inside line. JC out brakes and does a lovely job of defending. He's able to hold on around the outside line and beat Jacko into the next turn. Jacko forced in behind JC, but JC doesn't have a couple of bad turns. Has really thrown fourth place in jeopardy, and it's thrown fourth place right in the hands of Jacko. Jacko with the DRS is going to overtake for fourth. JC's not going to give away, though. He's going to try and come right back at him. Tier to Tier looks to be battling with ZGS. We'll switch over to that. Tier to Tier looks to have gotten the overtake just after the bridge. But Tier to Tier is able to pull away from the ZGS as well. Now HSVDT has been the second piece of bread in this JC Blackley sandwich here, so JC's got to be really careful now. He's got the teammate of Jacko right in behind, and the commentator's curse almost comes into fruition, but JC is able to hold on. Money Matt is into the pit. Jacko's up into third place. HSVDT is coming right at JC now. They're going to go wheel to wheel alongside each other. JC's going to hold the inside line into turn 2, but that's going to turn to the outside line. No, sorry, turn 1's going to turn the outside line into turn 2, and JC's trying to come back around turn 3. Still holding on, pushing HSVDT all the way around the outside, but HS is able to hold on to the position overtake. Now he's going to try and work on hunting down his teammate. JC on those 2-lap older soft tires, and of course, plenty of those laps were served in the safety car, so tire wear that just really kind of went nowhere for this set of soft tire compounds, where Jacko and HSVDT virtually have had fresh tires since they've come out here, and I'm not sure if they're going to try and send the whole race on this compound here, but oh, excuse me, wow, that kind of came out of nowhere. JC Blackley's just around over a second behind. Jacko's just gained within a second of Kaz now, so Jacko's going to try and take a stab at second place here. Showing some real solid pace. The night race is kind of starting to happen. As I start in the day or in the afternoon, and I was kind of start working into the night, so the sprint race will be entire night, where this one's been a little bit of both. You can see a nice little dusk falls over Singapore. Kaz is going to be in real trouble real quick here. Jacko is not missing any turns, where Kaz is kind of forcing every turn a little bit on the outside extent, not hitting every apex the way it should be, and that's brought Jacko right into it. And now Jacko's going to want to overtake Kaz as soon as possible, as the longer he takes to overtake him. Ooh, Kaz goes to defend, we can say. He's going to give him room through turn 1, but they got the elbows out there. Made his defensive move, albeit a little bit late, but a defensive move it was. Now Jacko's going to get the second DRS section just after turn 5 here in the little right-hander of turn 6. Just doesn't look like the straight or the DRS section's long enough for Jacko to take a true jump into the turn. Hotspot and Tier the Tier seem to be going at it. Ooh, Hotspot sends it around the outside on Tier the Tier and clips the front left tire, and that spins out Tier the Tier. That's quite unfortunate. It looks like JC actually gets an overtake done on HS VDT. Looks like HS has fallen back quite a bit. I'm not sure what's going on. Doesn't look to have any front wing damage, but loses out on a point. Or a position on a point, sorry. Jacko's still trying to work on Kaz here, and last time we were coming around this part of the track, Jacko's trying to line up Kaz the first DRS section, and Kaz got the elbows real out to defend second place. He did not want to give way, but it looks like those softs are starting to really wear. Now Jacko's right alongside Kaz, but Kaz got the inside line. Both actually go wide around, and Jacko's got DRS as well as the inside line. Now they're side by side here. Let's see what Jacko can do. It looks like he's got a clean overtake through turn 1, and Kaz is going to have to slot in behind for third place, but he's ever so close onto the back of Jacko, not giving him any space to breathe here. We'll take a quick peek at Hotspot and see if Hotspot's able to get an overtake on Spaceman here. Spaceman once again sits in the top 10, and Hotspot is going to go for a late lunge, and Spaceman goes and gives up the position fairly. We'll kind of jump back onto it. Oh, and Spaceman ends up losing another position to Jinnit to win it, as well as Jinnit has yet to pit this lap, I believe, or this race. Yeah, Jacko did pit. That is exactly when Jacko pitted their pork chops. JC and HSVDT is still in a fight here. Looks like HS made all that time up and got the re-overtake for 4th position. But JC's gonna have DRS. I think we did pork. I'm not a crew chief here, so I'm not sure what's the plan, but he's worked himself back up into 2nd place, as has HSVDT, his teammate, and the only other guys to pit that early. Where Hotspot, who had pitted on kind of the normal time, is found himself in 6th. So we'll have to see the difference in the strategies there. As Hotspot's already pitted, so he's going to be good for the rest of the race here. And Jacko does need to pit, as does his teammate, HSVDT. Actually, to be frank, all of the top 5 drivers right now still need to pit. So there you go. You see Kaz come in. Maybe the rules are different. Uh-oh. Well, we'll have to see. I have no idea. Darius Fat gets an overtake on Kaz as Kaz is in the pits. He's going onto the super softs to finish off this race, having to use both tire compounds in this. Kind of keep an eye on that gap between Hotspot and JC, see how much he's able to take out. Already he's taken off a half a second, so we'll have to see how much more ground he's able to chop off as this race goes on. I'm not sure when these guys are going to pit. We saw the best and it seemed like the most tire usage you can get out of those super softs is around 6 laps, so we'll check when these cars come in. Chunky Corgi coming at ZGS. ZGS going around the outside, and Chunky pit maneuvers them and then puts them back straight. ZGS and him are going right at it now. AE Daltonian tries to split all 3. Now Chunky's slotting in behind. AE's got the inside line. ZGS holds on. Chunky takes a look around the outside. AE also takes a peek at ZGS as well, but nothing going. As we have a 3-driver battle in the back of the pack here for 15th place. Jimbo's now into the pits. Hotspot has chopped that lead. HSVDT and Jacko move up. We'll have to see what the rest of them do. Jinnen finally into the pits after starting in the back of the pack after his qualification in his qualifying lap. JC still has a penalty to serve, I guess, with only 3 seconds, so he can't serve that until the end of the race. Spin and Win gets real close on Money Mat in that late break going into turn 7. Gets a little too heavy on the throttle and oversteer. Now coming around that stretch into turn 10. Really tough area on track to pass. You gotta really catch them out on one turn. It's a tough task to be able to time it out of a turn while having no DRS, but he's got some here. Money Matt seems to get the better launch out of turn 13, but it's just not a long enough straight for him to make a move. We'll jump over to the battle with Jimbo Fishing and the Garris Vac, and Jimbo wants to take a look on the inside line, but the Garris Vac just doesn't open up the door, and Jimbo's going to have to wait until turn 1 to make a move. JC's still yet to pit. Get the detail up. Those are 11-lap old tires, and as I say that, he's in the pits right now, and now Jimbo's looking to come at the Garris back here. Jimbo gets a really good run as he's got the fresher of tires, and he's able to outbrake the Garris back into turn 1. The Garris can't defend, as this is actually a really good camera angle. Why can't I get this camera angle all the time? They give me all the stupid ones. We'll see if Garris is able to come right back at him, but it looks like Jimbo's got the proper pace right now, and the Garris is going to be in trouble with Kaz, as Kaz is on the super softs as well, and he looks to be making up some solid ground. We should see a pass here. Janet gets alongside Super Ninas, both giving enough room. Janet's got the pass and is going to get the overtake. We go one down too far. Super Ninas slots into 12th place. A lot of solid drivers actually out here tonight. We got a pretty solid grid. Jimbo's having a really solid race for himself. Kaz, there we go. He's going to send it on the inside line. The Garris back goes for a switchback as he anticipated Kaz missing his braking point. He tried to brake really late and couldn't get that car slowed down enough to hit the proper apex, and the Garris Vac does a lovely little job of a switchback defense. We'll have to see if Kaz learns his lesson into turn 1. It looks like he's starting to lose a little bit of that tire grip that he had before, as he's already getting a little bit of oversteer, and he's just not close enough to come down the short pit straight into turn 1. So he's going to have to opt for that secondary rest section on this lap in just after turn 5, and ooh, that's not going to help him. And Spin and Win actually retires from the session. Is that in pits, or whereabouts is that? It looks like it's actually in pits. Oddly enough, I'm not sure what happened there. There we go. Jin is also going to get an overtake on Random Sirius as well, as Random now drops into 10th place. But with the penalty to Jin, he's going to overtake him at the end of this race. He's just got to stay close enough. Still not sure what's to come with the HSVDT and Jacko situation. I'm not sure if there's a rule on pitting in the first 5 laps. I think there is. If so, then they're going to be in real trouble. I know that on the sprint race you can go the entire thing without a pit, but it's a different ball game in the feature race, so we'll have to see how it ends up after this. But I remember last week guys getting in trouble, or it might have been last week or the week before, guys in trouble for not pitting or pitting after a first lap safety car and then getting a DNF because they completed the rest of the race on those softs. I may be remembering wrong. Studi Get the Booty got gifted a sub by Bennett Boss, trying to make up the hole that he's dug himself into by not ordering any Midwest F1 League merchandise. But we thank you all the same there, Bennett Boss. Much appreciated, man. Of course, Bennett Boss is a racer on Div 2 under the alias of OG Northern. Now, that's actually a lovely little pass from Kaz there. Did not look like much of an area to get a switchback done, but he does it very smoothly, as the Garrisback couldn't have an answered at all there. So solid stuff there from Kaz. The Garris looking to come back, but not enough room for him to do so. Kaz is going to hold on to 5th place. There we go. Jinet's trying to catch JC. 2 full laps left to go here. We're halfway done our 15th of 17 laps. Right now, driver moving up the most is set to be Jinet, but he did DNF, or disqualify in the qualifying session here, and it looks like we got a car off at that hairpin of 13. That is 78 Corvette waiting for the cars to pass. So yellow flag through that section. It looks like he's just joining back on now. But Jinet trying to come at JC and looking to outbrake around the outside, but not really an area to do so. And of course, Singapore last year was the infamous Clogmonger 5th place. If you were there to see that, and oh, Jinet spins out. Does a good job to not lose a wing and to spin himself right back into it. But unlucky, he's going to drop now into 10th place. As you just saw, Random Sirius re-overtakes for 9th. So quite unfortunate from Jinet there, as that was our closest battle as well. We'll get on with Garris. We'll see if Garrisback is able to make up the ground between him and Kaz, but Kaz seems to have been on a different level in the second half of this race here. Going back last lap, getting a lovely overtake on the Garrisback, of course. So Garris isn't tough here. We'll see if he's able to do so with a lap and a half to go. But right after this, don't go anywhere, as we're going to go right into the what is the sprint race. Once again, another 25% race of sprint variety here in Singapore. It looks like we're going to be entirely under the light as dusk is just falling. Now, believe it or not, this is kind of, I wouldn't say the weirdest stat of Formula 1, but it's kind of an odd stat, is that the fastest lap ever recorded on or during a race in Singapore was set by none other than K-Mag in that Haas in 2018, which is a little bit of a surprising. I should make more things for their world points. Yeah, maybe I will take a peek into that. I haven't dabbled too much into that betting polls to bet points. Yeah, I could check that out as well. It's just right now it's not really Formula One season, so people aren't tuning in as much as they normally would. But okay, here you go. So the Garrisvac and HSVDT are pitting now. So Hotspot's going to take the provisional lead here. Let's see where the Garrisvac and Kaz end up. Looks like Jacko's coming out of the pit now. HSVDT is getting held up. So HS is going to drop. I don't think he's going to lose. He looks like he actually might lose position to Money Matt. There you go. Money Matt gets an overtake as well. So Jacko and HSVDT did lose out quite a bit of positions from being forced into pit as they went all those laps without doing so. And Jacko comes out fine as he's going to finish in a podium position here, third place, that being, but the real man that gets hurt by this all is HSVDT, as HS is the one who had to wait for his teammate Jacko to come out of the pit, with the double stack not being a viable option in the Formula 2 series. So HS really gets hurt there and drops into 7th. Money Matt on for a very solid finish here, looking to improve a position off of his qualifying from 7th to 6th. Kaz going from 9th to 4th. Jimbo Fishing may actually have the potential of dropping off the podium. He's got to lose 2 seconds, and Jinna, I think Jinna's gone off again. Yes, he has. Not what you want to see there, but Jacko's making up the ground. He's gonna get an overtake on Jimbo, but he's just absolutely trying to shred these super softs. Jimbo's softs have completely fallen off. He's just trying to hold on to the lead of second place, but it's not going to matter as the penalty is going to come back to bite him on the butt in the end, and Hotspot comes over the line for the race win. Jacko coming in second, Jimbo Fishing in third. Kaz finishes in a very respectable fourth. Garrisvac is going to collect a very solid fifth place. The Money Matt, like I said, moves up from 7th to 6th. HSVDT finishes over the line in 7th. JC Blackley is going to come over in 8th, but I believe he's going to lose that position out to Random Serious. There you can see ZGS coming over the line as well. And I think our top 10 is going to be rounded out with Spaceman getting Super Ninas. The Super's got quite a bit of penalties here. And what's going on with Spaceman there? I have no clue. Is he going to get in? Is he out of fuel? I think he's out of fuel. He does just barely get into the top 10 there. But I'm fairly confident that Spaceman was on low fuel mode there to try and just get it barely over the line to get into the top 10. Looks like we're going to lose out on 4 drivers from this race. Jinnit DNFing the final lap. I believe he was still on, yeah, he was on the lead lap. So he won't fall anywhere past Chunky Corgi, ZGS or 78 Corvette, or Tim Lee, but he did not finish the race, so I'm not exactly sure what the F2 ruling is on that. As we wait for Tier to Tier to finish up the season Sector 3, and then we can get right on into the sprint race. But there we go, the feature race is done here in Singapore. Moving on to the sprint race next. Now, of course, the finishing result of the top 8 will be flipped. So HSVDT, of course, after being screwed out of what seemed to be a podium, is going to start up at the, I think he's first or second, to be honest there. But we see Jacko, Hotspot, coming home with the win, as well as Jimbo Fishing in third. Hotspot's the all-Ferrari man, actually. Actually, Random Serious is going to get pole there, so HSVDT is going to start second alongside Random Serious. Kind of run through the lineup real quick here. So we got Hotspot, Al Majako, and Jimbo Fishing, the podium. Kaz, the Garrisvac, a couple Canadians side by side in 4th and 5th. Money Met, and 6th, a Cameroon flag, which is kind of odd. HSVDT, an Australian 7th. Random Serious, JC Blackley and Spaceman rounding out the top 10. Followed by Super Ninas and AE Daltonium in 12th. That's 5 straight Americans, and we'll get back onto the Canadians in Tier the Tier, and a Brit and Jinnit to win it. Back to a Canadian in Chunky Corgi, ZGS 16th, the Norwegian 78 Corvette in 17th. Tim Lee, Spin and Win, Menace, and Kenny finishing it out. And it looks like Menace actually backed out there. I'd like to quickly send Menace an invite. Alright, so hopefully he can get back into it. But we're going to get back underway here. Into the sprint race we go. As I said, HSVDT and Random Serious drop at the front here. We'll see if we'll get the better start. We'll just jump right on board with Garrisvac. He gets a really good start in HSVDT, already losing out on positions. We'll see as it comes through into turn 1. Money Matt gets a crazy start. Random Serious cuts a little bit of turn 2. Kaz and Money Matt, or Random Serious, get into it. Random gets pushed off into the wall. Random's dropped back a little bit, and now HSVDT and him are battling it out. The Garrisvac attempting to come at the Garrisvac, and he is unfortunately unable to. Jimbo Fishing dropping down into 8th position, looking to come at Hotspot, and Random Serious is now getting his elbows out alongside Jacko, as we're still very tight. A couple of drivers look to be clipping the back wall there, and Jinnit to win it, unfortunately spinning out early. But he's going to be able to collect himself and try and refight. And why is there a VSC? And a VSC completely throws a wrench into this first lap. Like, as you can see, the entire grid is still in Sector 2 together. One guy just spun out, but he was able to get himself back in it, and throws a VSC, and we have to ruin what was a fairly clean first lap. And oh, Kaz tries to time the VSC, and unfortunately he's going to get a drive-through penalty for it. I'm going to have to quickly send an invite to Menace. Okay, we're back into it. No passes happened, so good news. When I was doing that, nothing went down, and now HSVDT is trying to come at Jacko, trying to line up the inside line, but nothing there, and there he goes. He does take a lunge, and Garrisvac goes to defend, and HSVDT holds on to the position, and Garris is trying to come back at HS, as HS is taking a little bit of wired over an apex, but he's still going to be able to hold on to the position. Now Hotspot has dropped down, and Random Serious, he looked like he got into it with Hotspot. No, Hotspot was caught in an ugly area, And I'm not sure who we got a piece of. I think that was A.E. Daltonian, but Hotspot spun out in a very peculiar spot and was trying to get himself back turned around, and unfortunately got a piece of one of the drivers as they're going by, as another virtual safety car is out through the tier in the pits. I think that's 78 Corvette that was DNF'd on track in the final couple turns there. But we are back at it for this sprint race at least. A couple of VSCs, 2 VS3s through the first 2 laps has kind of slowed everything down a little bit here. It'd be nice if this race could open up. It's on the verge of it, but the VSCs are kind of hurting this race quite a bit, not gonna lie. Kaz is currently sitting in second, but he's got a drive-through penalty, so that's really gonna hurt his chances. This race you do not need to pit. Super Ninas is actually throwing on a set of super softs to start here, and he's looking to come at JC, but JC is able to outbrake even on the soft tire compound. And he's gonna hold on to 7th place. That lead pack runs all the way from 1st to 5th. Jimbo Fishing just sits outside. This is, of course, a battle for 7th place right now, but Super Dinas gets a decent piece of that wall. Kenny's looking to come at A.E. Daltonian. A.E. breaks a little bit sooner than what Kenny was anticipating, and now Kenny's going to lose a little bit of his front left wing because of it. And Janet to win it is also gaining on the 2 drivers as well, so A.E.'s got to be careful, and he said, screw this, I'm just going to the pit. So now Janet gets a really good run out of turn 23 and gets an overtake done on Kenny. A yellow flag through sector 1. That is Kaz spun out. We'll see where he is. He just picks himself back up and is now in 8th position. Garris back looking to come at Jacko. He's going to send it around the other side. Jacko's going to hold on to 3rd place to the inside line. Garrett's trying to cut a little bit of that turn to make up as much ground as he can, but it doesn't help him really at all in the end. HSVDT trying to fight for the lead here as this dynamic duo in the Prima Racing. HSVDT and Jacko seemingly taken control of this F2 series from the beginning. The only team that seems that could compete would be Narniel and Lord Zed of that Sauber Junior team through Season 1, but them of course splitting up and actually not being here as often as we'd hope in the F2 series has really paved the way for HSVDT and Elma Jacko to kind of take control of this entire shindig and a virtual safety car once again. Because hey, why not? We're not entirely done 3rd lap, so let's just throw another VSC out there. Even though no one is spun out on track, all the drivers are moving forward, but why not just slow this race completely? Super Ninas chooses a really unfortunate time to pit. We'll take a look, as there you go. Kaz gets disqualified from the session, so no points will be gained from him in this sprint race. Spaceman Super Ninas in the pits. Super Ninas looks to overtake Spaceman in the pits. We'll have to see. Continues from that. Jacko is right on his teammate there, actually. The 2 Prima drivers, as well as the Garrisvac and the Art. Still staying on this lead pack. All of them are using the soft tire compound. Yellow flag in sector 2. That looks like Tim Lee and Spin and Win. As as they collect themselves out of that turn. And now a full safety car. So lap 1, lap 2, lap 3, virtual safety car, lap 4, full-on safety car. And I can't put the blame on the drivers in the game, honestly. It's the game has gotten so unbelievably sensitive towards a safety car, Jimbo fishing for whatever reason. DNFs. Not sure what goes on there. But there you see him right into the wall. Kenny opting to pit. We'll see what he changes up to. Chunky Corgi and Jinnit as well looking to pit. The super softs for the last couple laps after the safety car is somewhat of a bold strategy. It's just gambling that you have the better tire compound and that you'll be able to get overtakes in the final half of this race. We'll have to see if that pans out. It's going to be a restart at around lap 7 after all these cars catch back up to the pad. Daltonian's nearly a lap back of the safety cars, so still quite a ways to go for him, and the Singapore Grand Prix isn't the shortest track. It's got a lap average of I think around 149 or some odd. Just playing the waiting game here. A lot of drivers need to make up quite a bit of ground on this safety car. Can he save the wing? Just able to. He's gonna be able to hold on to 11th place. Spaceman's actually into the pit. So maybe looking at a lap 8 restart, as well as Kenny's into the pit. Tim Lee, the fan favorite, moves up into 11th place. Let's see what he's able to do here. Now, I didn't see a message of some sort of the safety car coming in this lap. I may have missed it, but I don't believe I did. So once more around the track is what we should see. Is that... Tim Lee is in a very peculiar spot here. A. Daltonian retires. As Tim Lee's trying to correct himself. Kenny's just able to avoid. Oh! They DQ'd Tim Lee? What? This game absolutely hates us tonight. Oh my goodness gracious. That was just... What? Why would you DNF him, like, so late? He was just about to go straight and they freaking... Man, this game is just not nice to us tonight. I'd imagine the safety car is going to come in this lap. These last 4 drivers here, as we've lost 7. That's kind of running it up there as a near record. It's getting close to the record for most drivers lost in a single race. I think that was 9 last year in Spa. I know for sure that we lost 9 last year in Spa. I believe that sits at the Midwest record for most drivers lost in a single race. See, Pork, that was just off the top of my head. Like, I've got a lot of knowledge up there, believe it or not. Pointless knowledge may it be, but knowledge it is. We're gonna have 4 full laps off the restart. This... There's been at least a VSC every lap this entire sprint race. It just... This race just hasn't been allowed to try and open up. There's been no room for it, as it seems. The game is just entirely against it. We'll get on with the Garris back here and see what he's going to be able to accomplish. Money Matt's slowing everyone up right into the final turn, and he throws a curveball at HSVDT, and it really kind of buckles his knees there as he loses a position. He's got the line on Jacko, and now Jacko is, or sorry, JC is going to be having to defend on the Garris vac. Janet actually shoots the inside line on the Garris vac, and Garris drops now into 6th. Janet up into 5th. I think that's the bot of Menace. Yeah, it is. The bot of Menace is in 7th place in this race. Just goes to show you what's been going on. Garris trying to get back up into the podium there, and Money Matt is now in trouble from HSVDT as they're touching tires. Money Matt's going to come back at the inside line of HSVDT, pushing him all the way around against the wall. And it looks like we have Kenny spun out all the way in the back of the pack there around turn 3, so he's got quite a ways to go to make up all that ground. Money Matt's still holding in behind HSVDT. Jacko now ducks the inside line, and Money Matt's going to drop down. Oh, and Money Matt and Jacko get into it, and Jacko's now spun out, and he's going way down the order, but we'll have to stay on. And hey, another virtual safety car. So every driver is back up and running, and then there we go. Finally it goes green. So let's just throw the whole thing into a VSC for 4 or 5 laps here. We got a yellow flag in Sector 2. That'd be Kenny off in the bridge section. Jinnit and HSVDT have pulled away from the rest of this pack. Finally, this race seems to have opened up. 8 safety car and virtual safety car ridded laps into this bloody thing. Hotspot gets an overtake on the bot. Kenny is retired from the Grand Prix. On track, maybe, but he's just had a heck of a time here in Singapore, as has this entire league, to be quite frank. And looked like Super Ninas was coming at the bot of Menace there as server lag, because that seemed really weird for a second. Everyone went into the wall. Money Matt, after the restart, has dropped all the way from 1st into 5th, not the way he's been hoping. JC Blackley actually moves up into the field, but he's going to be in tough with the Garris back, who's really hungry for a podium here. Now chasing down the Carlin of JC Blackley, and of course JC is the only Carlin left in this race, and with all the little amount of drivers left in this race, it's going to be very easy for me to count up all the points. And Hotspot, and I think that's Chunky Corgi, are picking themselves up after that hairpin, so they're back under the way, and I'm honestly completely surprised that another virtual safety car wasn't dished out. But don't put a commentator's curse on any of this there, Mr. Crash, as there's still 2 full laps to go. HSVDT seems to have this one in the bag, as the gap between him and Jinnit is at 2.5 seconds, as well as Jinnit has a 3-second penalty, so that currently sits at 5.5 seconds between him and second place. So a couple of decent laps is in between him and a win here in Singapore in the sprint race. Between the Garris Vac and a podium, of course, stands JC Blackley. Money Matt once again losing another position. Another 2 actually to Super Ninas and Jacko. Jacko right on the back of Super Ninas. Let's see what Money Matt's able to do here. Oh, and he smacks the wall. Looks like Chunky Corgi's off in turn 1. So Singapore has just been absolutely awful here tonight. But, I mean, it happens. We get our good ones, we get our bad ones. Jacko gets an overtake on Super Ninas. Jacko seems to be the only man enjoying Singapore, and I can't even say that. And who's that? Oh, that's Jinnit. Jinnit's off. Oh, Jinnit's completely spun around with a broken front wing. Is that going to be another retirement? It's just right now sitting at a yellow flag in Sector 2. No VSC. Jinnit's still yet to spin himself back around. I think he's just waiting for the best possible area. That Garris Vac, as that happens, sorry, he has actually moved himself into a podium here. So there you go. Another retirement. So that pushes that total up to 9. 2, 4, 6, 8. Yes, 9 retired drivers here. Just crazy scenes here in the sprint race of Singapore. Spin and Win and Hotspot were somewhat getting into a battle there. Garris Vac's trying to get into second place for the evening, but JC Blackley is still holding on. 2 full laps still to go. As I said that last lap, unfortunately I didn't notice that HSVDT has actually crossed over the finish line and threw us onto lap 10. So now 2 full laps to go. HSVDT is coming through the slalom, I guess it is, of turn 1, 2, 3. Now through 4, JC Blackley and Garris Vac are starting and finishing the turn section of 1, 2, 3, and now through 4 as well. Is the Garris Vac going to be able to get an overtake done on JC? It just doesn't seem like it's in the cards right now for the Garris. JC's doing a very solid job of keeping good pace. HSVDT is just off in the distance. There's no touching that man in the sprint race. Another yellow flag, because I believe that's Tier. The Tier is off after turn 3. He collects himself back up and shakes the dust off and says, well, let's get on with it. I want to get some points after all this is said and done. His points are still up for grabs here. Garrus really trying to come at JC, but JC's just not opening the door enough. And that little second guess going into that hairpin is really going to hurt Garrus back coming into this straight stretch. Just not close enough to get an overtake done. JC still holds on to second place. Garrus is running out of time here if he wants second place. JC hasn't got any sort of penalties, neither does Garrus, so it's just down to straight track position here. Unless a last minute penalty comes out, I'm not sure if we're going to see a position change. This doesn't look like Garrus has shown any true venom coming into any of the DRS sections. HSVT is just showing crazy pace right now as he once again sets the fastest lap. And I actually am reminding myself of a false statement I said earlier, saying the average lap time is around 1:49. With it being F2 cars here, that actually makes it a little bit longer. As you saw, the fastest lap there sat at around 1:54. So I imagine the average lap time here sits at about 1:57, 1:58, probably a little bit more than actually as well. Hotspot's looking to come at Money Matt. We'll take a peek at that quick. Money Matt gives the inside line. Hotspot kind of cuts a little bit of that turn too, and he's going to move up into 6th position. Both drivers on a 5-second penalty, so this battle is just going to come straight down to track position. Ooh, Garrus back finally coming at JC, and both of them actually go off the track. The Garrus now has got the inside line on JC. JC kind of rubs him out a little bit, and these guys are continually going wheel to wheel. But JC has got the inside line on the final corner of the battle and is going to hold on to 3rd place. But the Garrus back isn't going to let it go. He's going to keep coming at the young lad in the Red Bull Junior car, that is, the Carlin to be exact. We'll see what Garrus back can muster up. Maybe I've been saving up a little bit of fuel, but it looks like JC is going to be able to send it around that hairpin far better than Garrus back, and the Garrus has got to be careful as now Jacko is getting ever so tight onto the back. Jacko's trying to do the double podium here, so we'll stay on with Jacko and see if he's able to get an overtake done in the final sector here. We're entirely in sector 3, not really an area for passing, so it's going to be really tough on Jacko to get an overtake, but he's really made up ground on these 2 drivers ahead of him. Just see at the top of your screen there, HSVDT comes over the line for the sprint race finish. Jacko's trying to cut as much corner as he can, legally that is, to get the overtake on the Garrus back, but it looks like this podium is going to sit HSVDT, the Garrus, JC Blackley, and the Garrus back. Jacko just misses out on a double podium, even after being spun out, so solid finish from him. Super Nines comes over in 5th, Hotspot in 6th. Money Matt seemingly in 7th, goes off the course a little bit, loses a wee bit of time, but I think he's going to be fine and holding on to that track position. Menace, oh, commentator's curse. Menace actually gets the overtake on Money Matt. Money Matt, unfortunately, after the restart, going from 1st to 8th, so not what you want to see. Spin and win in his first sprint race as a bot, I believe, as he did not come back for the sprint race. I don't think he knew it in the rules, and whoa, who was that? I think that was Tier the Tier. Tier the Tier decided to smoke the wall. Crazy, crazy, crazy stuff here today in the F2 world. It's just been absolutely ridiculous. Spaceman is going to be the last person to come over the line, just finishing up Sector 3, but 9 DNFs in the sprint race. It was such a weird race. I'm kind of annoyed. Like, I'm just kind of pissed. Like, Singapore's not that bad of a track, but we tie the record for most DNFs in a single race at 9. But just odd all around. HSBDT getting a podium, so that's going to be double podiums today for the Prima Racing. One with Jacko finishing in second in the first race, and then the other being HSVDT getting the win here in the sprint race. Garrus back getting a podium for himself, as is JC Blackley getting a second place. So a completely different podium from what we saw in the feature race, so that's good to see. You don't always want to see the same guys on the podium, of course, unless you are the guy that's always on the podium, then you'll always want to take that, but for a racing standpoint, it's good to see different guys here and there. But we're going to go through what was the sprint race quickly as it finishes, or as it stands, barring any sort of steward investigations or reports to the stewards. We see HSVDT getting the win, JC Blackley second, Gareth Vac rounding at the podium, El Majaka going fourth, going from second to fourth. From the feature to the sprint race, Super DNS fifth, Hotspot sixth, the bot of Menace getting a very solid finish in the seventh, Money Matt going into eighth, I believe the bottom of Spin and Win also coming ninth, Chunky Corgi in 10th, Tier 11th, and the last person to finish the race was Spaceman, and then DNFs from 13th to 21st. We'll go quickly with Jenna to win it, Kenny, Timley, 80 Daltonian, Jimbo Fishing, Kaz, Random Series, 70 Corvette, and ZGS gets the DNF. And the race weekend winner sits as Elma Jacko, but I'm not sure if that's going to change with a point system that we withhold differently from what normally is F2 points. But that's it, I guess, man. That was just weird. I don't know what to make of that race. I did not enjoy any bit of that sprint race. Not one bit of it all, but it is what it is, and you can't always get a flawless race. We have to take them for what it's worth and just expect a better race in the future, as, you know, you got to take the lashings every now and then. And today was a lashing. Today was not a good race. You know, there was good battles. It had its moments, but it didn't offer as much as I know Singapore can, and we just know that our karma is in the good now. We've dealt with one of the bad ones, so we got a good race coming in the future here. And be sure to tune in when we get that, as you know, it's just going to be some exciting stuff. The Midwest F1 League, even on the boring nights, is still exciting in a way. Is how often do you see 9 DNFs happen? Not very often at all. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's about it. Be sure to big news coming for tomorrow night's D1 race. Ooh. Stay tuned to the Discord. Da, da, da. So yeah, be sure to stay tuned in there, but I think I'm just going to end it as it stands right now. So the points will be updated once they are given to me, or once the steward reports are all filed and ready to go. So we will let you know when we have them. But I mean, that's about it for me tonight. Be sure to check out us all on the social media networks that we are out on, and that, of course, being Twitch, where you're at right now, YouTube, where you may be at right now as well if you're watching this into the future, as well as on Twitter and Instagram. So go check out all of those social media interactions, message us, text us, do whatever you want to stay in communication with us, as we very much appreciate all of the outside support from anyone who is an outsider of the Midwest F1 League, as well as I'm just still kind of in like a shock of what that race was, but it is what it is, like I said. So I'm just going to end it as it is right now. You have yourself a fine Wednesday night or Thursday afternoon if you're in Australia. We'll hopefully be able to see you tomorrow for our Div 1 race, which of course is in, as I know off the top of my head, I'm not trying to pull it up on my computer right now, going into the schedule area on the top of my head as I finally found it. Ooh, Austria. So a love-hate relationship with a lot of guys in this league. I of course love it, so be sure to check that out. And yeah, that's about it for me. Have a good rest of your Wednesday or Thursday afternoon. I already said that, and good night.